Welcome back, everyone. In this tutorial, we're focusing on one of the most essential bodies in clinical research, the Institutional Review Board, or IRB, also known in many countries as the Independent Ethics Committee. These committees play a critical role in protecting the rights, safety, and well-being of trial participants and ensuring the ethical conduct of every study. Today, we'll break it down into three key areas. First, we'll look at the structure and core functions of the IRB or IEC, how they're formed, and what responsibilities they hold. Then, we'll dive into the relationship between the IRB and the investigator, what's expected before, during, and after the study. And finally, we'll explore how the IRB interacts with the sponsor, because ethical oversight and sponsor collaboration must go hand in hand. Let's get started. Now, if you've ever submitted a clinical study for review, you've probably filled out forms, uploaded protocols, waited for approvals, and maybe even felt a bit frustrated by the process. But behind those forms is a purpose that's deeply human. These boards exist to protect people. That's their job, to protect the rights, safety, and well-being of every single participant in a clinical trial. So let's break down how they're structured and what they're actually responsible for. Let's start with the composition of IRBs and IECs. Who's at the table? An effective ethics committee is like a well-rounded team. It's not just a room full of scientists. It's a diverse mix of people who each bring a unique lens to the review process. Here's the typical makeup. At least 5 members, but many have more. At least 1 scientific member, like a clinician or a researcher. At least 1 non-scientific member, like a lawyer, ethicist, or community leader. And importantly, at least 1 member who is independent, someone not affiliated with the institution or sponsor, ensuring that objectivity stays intact. Why this mix? Because clinical trials don't happen in a vacuum. They touch on science, yes, but also ethics, culture, religion, law, and community values. You need a team that can evaluate all these dimensions and speak up for the people who are volunteering their bodies, time, and trust. Now, we can discuss the functions of IRBs and IECs. What do they actually do? Now, what are these committees responsible for? Let's walk through their key functions. Initial review and approval of protocols. Before any study begins, the IRB-IEC reviews the protocol in detail. They ask, is this study necessary? Is it ethically sound? Are the risks justified by the potential benefits? Review of informed consent documents. They make sure that the consent forms are clear, accurate, and respectful. Are participants being told everything they need to know? Are there any misleading claims? Is the language understandable, not legalese or scientific jargon? Ongoing oversight. Approval isn't a one-and-done deal. IRBs, IECs conduct continuing reviews, usually at least once a year. They monitor protocol amendments, adverse events, and safety updates. Protection of vulnerable populations. If the study involves children, pregnant women, prisoners, or people with limited capacity, extra safeguards are mandatory. The board ensures that additional protections are in place. Stopping a study. If serious ethical concerns arise, or if the risk outweighs the benefit, they have the authority to suspend or terminate approval. That's power, and it's used with care. Independence and transparency. The IRB/IEC must remain independent from the sponsor. Their decisions can't be influenced by money, politics, or convenience. Everything they do must be documented, traceable, and auditable. Now, you might be thinking, I'm not on the ethics committee. I'm just writing the protocol, or overseeing the site, or engaging in medical affairs. Exactly.